Maurizia Vignavo, Maurizia. Wait, no, I think that was a bit out of place. I don't think that was the Lion King, actually. We had the Lion King on Sunday, now that I think about it. Anyway, how are y'all doing today? I am doing, Yeah, I'm doing. Honestly, it's the best way to describe it. So normally I would have been early, as y'all know, but, so, here's a very fun fact about my life. Like once every 2 to 3 months, my dad needs to go to the hospital to get a checkup. Which, normal thing for someone who's like, in as much shit sometimes as he is, with him being like physically disabled and blah 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 blah. Let's not go into that. But it is normal for us. Now, the thing is, as people who take a lot of medicine know, and people who are old know, if you take a lot of medicine and are old, you're probably very eepy. Which is normal. Being eepy like that is perfectly normal. But my dad is obviously also very eepy. Which means, when that happens, I have to stay up till like 5 a.m. To make sure he's awake and wake him up. So that's why I was like, that's why I like woke really late, that's why I went to sleep really late. It's like a whole ass thing. But you know what, it works out. And that's why like I'm like late today, which is fine. Anyway, yeah, with today being patch day in Final Fantasy 14 and me having the me having the years of knowledge that I do, never play on patch day. I opted to not play 14 today. 14 will probably return on Sunday, unless I'm not feeling well, in which case we're just gonna see when it's gonna return. But it's not gonna return today. It's gonna likely return on Sunday. Hope you had got good rest. I mean, I did sleep till like 2 p.m. Anyway, yeah, today otherwise has been great so far. Woke up, watched some videos, just did some chilling. Got a bit of like chill time in the morning, the good old. By the time I woke up, my dad has even been back, so. Despite the fact that like he has to like to visit his doctor. Yeah, he has to go a couple of kilometers. By a couple of kilometers, I mean like the doctor he has to go visit every 2 months is like 200 kilometers away. So it's a bit of a ride every time. Which I don't think is an issue, but it is a bit stressful. It is a bit stressful. Ah, God. Anyway, today Final Fantasy 13. I'm looking forward to it. I like this game, and while I like it, I also can't wait to just like see the end of it. Because I'm curious how the story will resolve. It's not that I don't like the game, it's much more like about... I love this game, but there's also just so much going on in the game where I'm just waiting for it to just like, peter out. Especially since we got like 2 more games of this franchise. Not of this franchise, but of Final Fantasy 13 incoming. Because I do plan to do Final Fantasy 13-2 and Final Fantasy 13-3. Yeah, waiting for the story to break open. I mean, kind of. I'm just, honestly, I personally am waiting for the story to just reach its conclusion on the base game. I am curious what the hell is gonna happen. The final boss, what is that gonna look like? I'm craving for the game to be... to have like some major hookage again. Because as much as I like this game, and it's gonna be like the weirdest thing I feel like, saying. I personally have probably like this weird thing going on where everyone's like, the game gets really good when you get to Grand Pulse. I liked the game more before Grand Pulse. Because when the game was like this linear game, it knew exactly what it wanted to do and how to pace itself. Once we got to Grand Pulse, the game just stopped having this like great pacing it had in the early game. So it was like weird for everyone to be like, yeah, when the game gets really good when you get to Grand Pulse, but like the pacing of the overall game just got to, like, slowed down to a crawl at that point. Whereas previously it had fantastic pacing, it just went, like, the pacing went down a lot. 500k tree behemoth. I don't think fighting a 500k behemoth is the issue. I think much more the issue is, like, everyone's like, you know what, do these side quests are great, blah blah. And while I agree that the side quests are fantastic, in terms of, like, you know, they're side quests and they have, like, some difficult content going on, I personally much more think that the pacing of Final Fantasy XIII gets weird at that point. I personally have to say, I like a lot this game does. There are some weird things I don't like so far. The upgrade system is just one of the weirdest things I've ever seen, where you have to use the organic material first, and the organic material will result in bonuses, and then you use the inorganic material to use those bonuses up to get more XP overall in your game. It's just a very weird thing. At least that's how I understand the upgrade system. I'm not even sure if this is correct, so that's the big thing as well. The game does a terrible job at explaining the whole upgrade system, which I think is one of the biggest issues with the game so far. Like, we've got, like, these, like, weird gem things we can take to, like, upgrade gear pieces, but we haven't had a piece of gear we could even upgrade with one of those. And it's like, ah, yes, the upgrade thing that I can't use because the game never explained its upgrade system correctly. Like, for everyone, like, for like, the vast majority of people, Final Fantasy XIII's main issues are, like, these, like, big things where it's like, yeah, you know, the game is, like, doing this and that wrong. For me, it's more like death by 1,000 paper cuts. Because while the game's doing a lot fantastically, it's doing, like, a lot of small things wrong. And, like, these small things being done wrong is just what's, like, annoying me a bit about the game. Because there's a fantastic shell going here. I even liked when we got to Grand Pools and I was, like, forced into using different characters. Because that's how it should be. You should not be able to just skate by using any free characters in an RPG. You should be able to, like, you should be forced to swap into the appropriate characters for fights. To face the nuking the boss. I mean, I don't think I'm missing a giant nuke. It's just not the type of game to have a giant nuke. Like in FF7 Remake, we didn't have, like, a giant nuke either, but it's still a fantastic game. It's a lot of fun. It's like, the combat system is completely fine. I don't have an issue with the combat system. The issue is like, the upgrade system, the lack of, like, side quests, side NPCs to talk to. Like, I feel like the game should have opened up a bit in the town section when we're, like, there with, like, Lightning Hope, when everyone was split up. Open up a bit in that section and have us be able to, like, do some side quests for, like, some villagers and stuff. It obviously would have slowed down the narrative a bit, but that was, like, the ideal point to have, like, some side quests, like, and have it feel, like, natural. Because now it feels like all the side quests are, like, crumbed here at the end, and it's just such a weird thing. Anyway, that's it with the negativity. I like everything else about the game. The straight line is fine because the story is paced well in that direction. I'm just hoping we get to fight a boss again soon. Anyway, see you guys in game. Hi. You know what? Let me sit like this. I think this is comfortable. Like, FF13 does a lot of things correctly. And I think a lot of people hate it for all the wrong reasons. Like, there are definitely things I dislike about it. But overall, I'm very positive towards the game. Which makes me happy because I wanted to be positive towards it. Hey Rito, how are you today? The circle at the bottom is gone? It was gone yesterday. I'm back to CN to conductive neuro. I don't know what do you mean with CN. There's a lot of things CN could mean. I don't have. Oh, China. No, I need a bit more context than just the letter CN. Like, this game really excels in its visual for the first time in one season. Bahash unavailable. What? The Bahash is unavailable? That's kind of funny. I might go look later then to see if it's like an available version.
Huh?
Hi! Boss fight? Maybe?
Get back!
Oh yeah, I looked up some things yesterday about 13 as well. There was this boss fight we had with Sid in the
Some kind of
arc-like thing. And well, I personally really enjoyed the arc-like section. It was such a weird little thing. Because turns out the boss fight in there against Sid had a 20-minute end range timer. Fine. Hey Andre, how are you today? I hope you're doing well still. Okay, so I have to go. Game, you didn't really need to give me a tutorial for go and speak to the statue like I told you to do earlier. I need to go without VPN because China's banned. Yeah, I mean, I'm not gonna go into detail about China. It's like, I don't have enough information about how China does things to be able to criticize those things fairly. Despite knowing that like a lot of things are obviously fucked.
Thanks.
Protector, woo! And no debuffs are landing, that's awful. But how's your day been, Andre? How's your day been? I hope you've been well. Let's get diversity, and I feel like that's gonna clear us out the fastest.
Thank you.
You think, oh, I think the variation of the thing that like goes up in half. But no, it turns out like the Sid boss that we did earlier in the game was like, it had like a 20-minute end range timer on it. I think I killed the boss in 5. That was just a very weird thing to find out, like, ah yes, an end range timer of 20 minutes. The boss died faster than the end range timer could appear. Because it gives you like a doom debuff for like 15 minutes in the fight. Like, what the fuck did the game think I would do? Like, I like the battle system. Oh, I do too. I think the game's battle system has like 2 minor flaws that could easily be fixed. But other than those 2 minor flaws, I think the game's battle system is fantastic. And it actually, I prefer those to a vast majority of Final Fantasy battle systems. Do I VPN watch movies on YouTube? I mean, that's how it is. Oh, Really? It's in the Tower of Side Quests. I have to go active. They're not side quests, but they're basically like the side quest. What the fuck, man? That is such a weird design choice. Oh yeah, I mean, I like a lot about this game. The visual presentation and stuff like how the battles work are fantastic in my opinion. Like, I really enjoy a lot, and I mean a lot of things about this battle system. It is a very pretty one. Like, I enjoy a lot of things about it. I really, really do. What's the flaws you see in the system? First of all, I would like the ability to just move the character I'm playing as. Not all characters, just like the movement of the character I'm playing. So for example, now that I've got like no thing inputted, being able to just move lightning around would be nice. So that, for example, like I had an issue a while ago where we were in a boss fight, and we're not the boss fight, but like against a very strong foe. And my characters were all standing in a straight line, taking all the area of effect damage of the enemy. Like, everyone was close together, so the enemy would just, like, cleave through us, and it was very painful. Being able to just move the character I'm playing would be pretty nice. And maybe even being able to, like, swap between the characters in my party mid-battle would be really cool. This would be coupled with the ability to, you know, be able to, if my character I'm playing as dies, swap to the next one in line. Which I'm pretty sure are both fixes which are in the sequel. Like, not the moving part, but everything else I just mentioned. I think that stuff is like the swapping between characters and stuff is all addressed in the sequel, which I find is pretty cool. And the other major thing we just saw is when the first time you swap paradigms in battle, you have this like weird like delay on it because it has to like play the whole animation. And it having to play the whole animation just makes things take so long. And I wish they changed that. And Trails games, I mean, Trails doesn't really have... How does Trails have that problem? Like, when the character dies with battle, you keep going. Like, that's very different than what's happening here. It applies powerful water-based attack. Can we, like, learn something more about the enemy without using Libra, please? Ah, let's use Libra. I would much rather not use my TP on Libra, but hey. My Toy Pepper needs to be used on something. Burn him with lightning damage, yay! And then let's go quickly on Bully and have Sass give us lightning damage. I was talking about the move. I mean, that's the thing though, in trades you do move when you, before selecting your attack and stuff. That's like part of the game, like deciding where your character ends up after when attacking. Like you do like select where to go and where to attack. You have like both those options. It's not like you select to attack and the character just moves into place. No, you have the ability to move separately. These remind me of Titan E3DX, yeah. Oh, what the fuck did it just do? That looked very painful. Now that we've got do Terran trades you move, but it takes your whole turn. You move and attack in the same. No, it doesn't take your whole turn. I've played the entire threat. You can move and then you can still attack. I've literally played Trails in the Sky 1 through 3. Trails Azure, Trails I've played all of them except Reverie. And in all of them except none of them you could move and attack in the same turn. Unless your character, unless you like used attack first and your character tried to walk into range. But then that's on you for selecting to move instead of selecting to attack instead of selecting to move. Like, you can move manually, you don't have to tell the character attack and then they try to walk into attack range. You can move manually and then tell them to attack. Like, unless you tell them to move manually, they will just default to moving as close to the enemy as possible and then attacking. Like, even, like, if you're in attack range usually, oh no, not one of those. Oh no, not one of these oh, I don't like these enemies. I really don't like those enemies, oh well. Like, in fact, you should be able to go onto my VOD channel where I have, like, all my old Twitch VODs and see me play through Trails in the Sky 1. And see me be able to move and attack in the same turn there. But the game does allow you to do that.
Thanks.
Oh, and he's deployment. Oh no. A pilot on the feet is hot. Oh. God, I really don't like the enemy type. They're really annoying. But they also have like 300,000 HP. Good God! And everyone's taking like a million. You know what? Sass, do your best. Best. Oh no, we're dead.
No.
But no, moving in Trails does not take your whole turn. Pull the sword into the party for my own HP. Well, I think it's gonna be fun. You know what I'll do? We first of all, we don't have anything in script here, but let's give Lightning a doctor's code. Oh, we only have like 5 potions. Yeah, we're gonna suck up soon. Next save point. But I think, Andre, what might have happened to you is that you just clicked attack, and if you just click attack and trails, it will default to like moving into range and then attacking. But if you manually go and instead of just going for, you know, if you manually go for the move and then attack, you can move and attack in the same turn. Or if you're already in range, you can attack and then move.
Thanks.
And takes a toll. I literally have video evidence on this Twitch channel and on my YouTube channel that you can move and attack. It only takes your whole turn if you select to attack and your character is not in movement range.
Thank you.
Am I dumb? No, you're not dumb. Like I think there are some games where it takes the whole turn, but not all of them. It takes a whole turn in some games, I think. I'm just not sure in which right now. I could also just be mistaken, but I'm pretty sure you could do both. I was starting to doubt myself. Oh my god, don't die, please! Ah!
Thanks.
No dying! No dying! Oh my god, there's so many enemies! Ah! Let's try renew to get some HP back! Oh my god! I can have me check out some Trails gameplay after stream to make sure I'm not wrong. I could very well be wrong. I haven't played Trails in like a couple weeks. Did it skip turns when necessary? I'm just being wrong. I could be wrong. Like, now that I think about it, I could be wrong.
Thank you.
But to be fair, in that moment you can still, my criticism still applies, right? Where even if you can't attack and do the other thing in one turn, that's completely fine then, right? Like my main issue is I have no control over Lightning's positioning. That's like my big issue. I've got zero control over where my characters are positioned. And in Trails, you do have this full control over where your characters are positioned, even if it does take your whole turn. But you still have like the full control over where you put your characters, and that's my big issue here. Becomes a different turn. I may have been wrong then. Entirely possible. Vanilla, get Sass up, please! Ah! I don't think Vanille wants to get Sass up. Sass, get up! Vanille, get healed! Ah! Potions! Ooh! The big issue is we're about to run out of haste. Vanille, heal yourself, please! No! That was better than no control. Yeah, exactly. I'd rather have control or cost than no control at all. That's my big issue of like this battle system specifically. I have zero control over my like main character's movement. Okay, this is an L. We don't have any Phoenix feathers anymore. We're either kill the boss now or we die. I know it's 100% better to just have some sort of control. Like, we were fighting 2 King Behemoths the other day.
No.
Drum the ATB maximum chaos and quick menuing. Pascal, what you're saying is, first of all, half of that is in like 13.2, where I'm pretty sure you can quick swap between characters. And if you remove the paradigm system, that is just called Final Fantasy VII Remake. Okay, wait, let me... Maybe not the doctor's code, not HP. I think you just go with double collector's catalog so we get double the items. That's clearly the solution here. We're dying. Double item drops. That's gonna help. Faith doesn't do shit for lightning though. Any game, I'm not a paradigm with this. Yeah, 13.2 has pretty much like the best way to really describe 13.2 to my knowledge, from what I've heard and from what I've seen, like I've seen very little of it, is if your main character dies, you can just die. You can just change your character, and you can just change your character. Period. I'm pretty sure in 13.2. And that's like the most important thing to me. Like, it's probably the thing I hate the most about the 13 battle system is when your main character dies, you have to like swap. I really don't get why they included this. It's like, yes, when my main character dies, I have to like change main character. It's like so weird. Why? Like when my main character dies, I just lose the battle. Then there's like no alternative. Ouch! When do you get up? Let's do Darkcraft APM for it.
Thanks.
Vanille, can you get some healing and lightning? Thank you! Appreciate it. Oh god. We have to deal some damage here and then quickly swap back out. That Vanille can get some buffs again. But no, I think movement in general, there should always be some like in a game where you've got like in a game where your positioning is relevant to combat, you should always have the opportunity to just move your character around in some way, shape or form. Because control over your character is so important.
I appreciate it.
And like it's the reason why I think it's like my biggest criticism personally towards the game. Like the lack of control just is painful. Okay, this is another L.
You ain't nothing. You ain't nothing.
God, I hate this enemy type. The enemy type is frustrating. I can't figure out how to deal with it properly. Respectable to Pain and D-Shell. Yeah, D-Shell has on Pain, it doesn't get because I don't think Vanilla has access to it. Yakuza. I have not played any of the Yakuza games yet. Like, the Yakuza games are... The Yakuza games always seem interesting, but it's like... much like people looking at Trails, the Yakuza is just a franchise like looking at it is overwhelming. Because there's just so much to Yakuza. Not that there's anything wrong with there being much to a game, but it's just such a thing when you like look at it. It's hard to like look at the game, be like, yeah, you know what, I want to get into it because it's just so much like you have to do. Due to the raw amount of just things. As a matter of fact, yeah. Like, if you look at the Trails and want to like get into it, like obviously Daybreak is a decent point to get into. Because Trails into Daybreak does this like funny thing where it's like a soft reboot of the franchise in a way. Where knowledge of previous games is relevant, but you're not gonna like hate yourself for not knowing shit about the previous games. While, for example, if you like want to start with the previous game, Trails into Reverie, you can start with Trails into Reverie. You really can't. Like, Trails into Reverie is like not a viable starting point into the franchise at all. Because Trails into Reverie is straight up like one of those games which is... It requires you to play Trails in Sky 1, 2, and 3. It requires you to start... oh my... Why is Vanille dying when we have a tank out? Can you provoke better, please? Yeah, Final Fantasy, you don't have an issue with playing, picking up Final Fantasy 16 because there's no overarching story arc to it. The closest we ever got with like an overarching story arc in Final Fantasy games is the Eva Leaf games with Final Fantasy Tactics, Tactics Advance, and Tactics Advance 2, followed by Final Fantasy 12. Where, while there is some overarching stuff going on, with some names and some characters, like El Cid appearing and Mont Blanc appearing, you really don't need to have played the other Eva Leaf games in order to enjoy 12. All good starting point, kind of like, just be freaking like, yeah. It is so weird, like, I really wish Trails had like, okay, now with Daybreak coming in, we're gonna have like a good starting point for new people. Which is pretty fucking cool, because like, I am glad I will finally be able to like, recommend Trails to people again. Because, let's be real here, when was the last time I was able to recommend Trails to people? I don't fucking know. It's been ages. Thanks to Daybreak, I'm gonna be able to actually recommend it to people again, which makes me happy. Okay, these enemies haven't buffed themselves yet. We can just take them out, and then we can probably quake real quick.
We can get through this.
Drive up all the gauges here. You also need to deal a lot of damage real quick. Let's use another quake.
No hesitation.
I want to make a remake Sky to make a better starting point. I mean, they said they were interested in the Sky remake, which I think is good. But while I think a remake of Sky is gonna be nice, I also think that a Sky remake just has some problems. Like, Sky as an entry point is nice and all. The issue with Sky as an entry point is you will still have to go out through every other game afterwards. Chloe, I mean, I don't disagree. I love Trails to bits and pieces. I absolutely do. It's just very hard to like get someone into the franchise because the franchise does have this issue with like this massive ass franchise and it has no good entry points for modern people.
Thank you.
I think Daybreak is much nicer gonna be of an entry point than the Sky remake ever could be.
Thanks.
Like the reason for that is very simple. Even if like let's say they do make a Sky remake and somehow remake Sky 1, 2, and 3, which is fine. Which is like which would be like completely fine. Like remaking Sky 1, 2, and 3, and then like they consider that the starting point, quote unquote. Do I just not have the stats to beat this side, or am I just being an idiot? Because Sky wants to start so slow. I mean, okay, I think I've got an idea of what I can know. Stats of trades into 0. 0 is like the worst starting point. Fantastic game, but worst starting point. I think I need a new paradigm for this. We pretty much never use Ravager. We pretty much never use it, so we're gonna use Ravager, Medic, and Synergist. That way we can still get buffs while healing up. Start with the end of the year and end with everyone. I mean, if you really want like the worst starting point, it's Reverie. And there's like no question about it. Reverie is the worst starting. Oh my god, Vanille, why are you dead already? Like, Reverie is the worst starting point for trades, and it's like not even close. There's no debate.
Thanks.
Like, Reverie is such a bad starting point, I cannot fathom it.
It'll be okay.
Let me reaction recommend starting. That is the dumbest shit I've ever heard. Because Reverie just spoils like so much shit about no, not Reverie. 0 spoils so much shit about trades in the Sky. And you can't fully appreciate 0 without having played Sky. Like, that's like one of the big points. Like you cannot possibly fully appreciate Zero without having played Sky. And IMO, that's like the big thing, and the big reason why I think no one can start on Zero. Or no one should start on Zero. Like, you can, obviously, but I really recommend to. In my opinion, there's like two ways to Sky. For Trails. Either you start at Sky and then go in order, or the alternative way of playing Cold Steel 1 and 2, and then you go back and do the others. But starting with Zero is just the dumbest thing. That just doesn't work. Oh my god! Okay, okay, one more strategy adjustment. Oh god, we're getting annihilated. But yeah, I'm like a huge fan of like Trails games. Okay, maybe no elemental resistance. First of all, lightning resistance here. No elemental resistance gives lightning resistance. What if we random water eater? What? Ah yes, the random water eater, my favorite. Wait, does 2 fulmin rings give? What? Does equipping 2 of the same accessory give a bonus? Huh? Wait, is there synergy between equipping similar artifacts? Oh no! Then you should just blow up immediately. True. Okay, another thing the game didn't really explain. Lovely. Well, now I know at least. Cast Shell. No, cast Protect, Shell, Veil, and Vigilance when HP is low. Okay, wait. Clmbing on Protect, this is fine. I like how that we swap over to Hope, but he has got nothing. Your power wristband, Doctor's Code you can keep. Royal Armlet you can keep. I don't care. Equipping certain things together gives you an advantage. Oh my god. Equipping certain pieces of equipment together gives you an additional buff. Well, that's something the game didn't explain at all. That is something the game didn't explain at all. Well then. Let's see how this works out. I think second Nomura ID, I don't know why. Honestly, I perfectly understand what you mean with that. But no, Chloe, it also took a while for me to get into Trails. When I originally got into Trails, I started on my PS Vita. I started on my Vita because there was a sale for a bundle of Cold Steel 1 and 2 for like 25 bucks. And I was like, you know what? These sound like decent JRPGs to pick up. For like 25 bucks for like 2 decent JRPGs that I had no idea about. I was like, yeah, you know what? That sounds decent. And then I picked that up. The worst ever, there's something different. I don't know who the character designer is, actually.
Thank you.
And then I played through Cold Steel 1. I got to the festival section.
No hesitation.
And that's when I stopped playing the game for the first time. Not because the game was bad or anything, but simply because at the time I got into other games. So I stopped playing Trails. And when I got back, I was like too overwhelmed with everything. And that's when I got the PC version at some point. And after getting the PC version at some point, I sat down and started like playing that. And I got like fully through that game at that point. I got through that game, immediately downloaded Cold Steel 2, got fully through that game. Fantastic journey for those two. And then I went back through the Sky games, and when I started Sky 1, I had the same issue. I really did. I like started Sky 1 and I had the same issue pretty much everyone had. The beginning was super slow. And not like, you know, the kind of slow you expect from JRPGs, but like really slow. Okay, what I equipped to Vanille didn't work out at all. That's why you recommend starting with Cold Steel, you start with that? Yeah, exactly. Okay, the Tetraedic Crown is useless as hell. Ooh, what a funk. We can obviously, we can try to go for the Fullman Ring, go for more magic defense style. See if that somehow works out. And Sass? Is there anything we could give to Sass that's used? I mean, Sass already getting his ass kicked. Guy, see the 60-hour prologue. Wait, did I just sneak up on them? Oh my god, this got. Okay, this is the run. Well, that didn't. That completely gets rid of any difficulty in the fight.
Time for another approach.
If the enemy just starts at like full bar, we're just gonna be able to annihilate them. And it's not even gonna be funny with how hard they're gonna get wrecked. As soon as Vanille decides to heal people. Lightning, can you please go launch? Thank you.
Here we go.
And he's getting absolutely wrecked. I know, Sky, like, the early game of Sky is really slow. Like, the first chapter is like, I think the first chapter is the worst, like, the prologue chapter is like the worst offender of it. Even when it starts picking up in speed, it's like not that interesting. And then you get to chapter 1, and I think a lot of people just don't like chapter 1 either, which is fine in my opinion. I wasn't huge on chapter 1 either. I think my biggest mistake when first playing through Sky was trying to play on a difficulty that wasn't the normal difficulty. Because as I found out later, Trails in the Sky, especially like Sky 1, originally didn't come with like difficulty settings. And I just expected the game to originally have difficulty settings, so I was like, you know what, I'm gonna play on hard because I like my JRPGs difficult. Turns out in Sky, like difficulty-wise, it's just number bloat, so it's not really difficult to make the games, like increase the game's difficulty. Which is, in my opinion, always like the cheapest way to achieve difficulty. Like, all you do is really bloat up the numbers. Guys, also harder than Cold Steel? Disagreed. Especially Sky 1. Sky 1 is probably the easiest Trails game there is. Like, Sky has the unfortunate issue of the Earth element. That's really the best way I can phrase it. The Earth element in Trails of the Sky is the most broken thing in the entire franchise ever. Like, thanks. More broken than Dodge Tank Fee, more broken than anything you can do in Zero. More broken than the order system.
Thank you.
Like, holy hell. That one's the easiest to say, not one played in the hardest difficulty. Yes, it is. Okay, in Sky 1, the difficulty is in the early game. The difficulty is in the early game because here's really the thing with Sky 1 and Sky 2. It's just numbers being up. It's not difficulty. Like, you don't make a game more difficult by increasing its numbers, right? To make a game difficult, you like add interesting things to fight. If you just up the numbers, you don't make a difficult fight, you make it time-consuming fight. 2 and 3 are more difficult than Sky 2 was still super easy. Sky 3 has some moments where it's difficult, but Sky 2 is like super easy as well. Manning easy? Yeah, the crossbow duology really has that synergy going on. Shocking breath. Oh, it's gonna roast Vanille. Ah, Vanille's fine, clearly. The game I refuse to play on the hardest difficulty is Trails in the Sky 2. And the reason for refusing to play that on the hardest difficulty is you need to play the tutorial in an exact way in order to be able to win the tutorial. And in Sky 2, you literally need to play in an exact manner in order to be able to win the tutorial. There is no way you can ever win the tutorial without playing in that exact manner. And that's like the biggest issue I have with that game. Than the hardest difficulty. Like if you accidentally end up using an item before you're meant to, you physically cannot win the tutorial anymore. Because by that point you're like unable to like grind and everything. Fire wristband, ooh, that sounds interesting. Australian? Because I hate this kind of an extension. I am German. I never heard of that being being a stereotype of anyone. But it's interesting that I follow an Australian stereotype. We got like a warrior wristband. Increases strength by 100, I'll take it. Wait, what if I try to equip both? Does it just add the numbers up on top of one another? Oh, it gives me Fizz Wall. You know what, sure. As the best character in the game, analyze my beloved. True. Let's just give Lightning plus 160 attack, why not? Right. I mean, number bloat can be done in 2 ways, in my opinion. Oh, cutscene. I mean, Gunbout is my favorite.
Right, here we go again.
Can't take a hint.
You're one to talk.
Huh?
He's just gonna leave again, isn't he? Wait, what? Oh, the statues help us. That's kind of cool.
Woo! I'll be damned.
I don't like Olivier until Cold Steel. You're wrong.
Are they sad?
I loved Olivier the moment he appeared.
I guess the way is open now.
To be fair, I knew about like the big twist around him since I played Cold Steel first. So yeah.
Appreciate it.
I know I'm wrong, but I stick to my gun. Fair. Fair. Let me upgrade this ring I just found for the accessory I just found, the warrior wristband. Let me sort this. Categorize Olivia's Crusades traits to protagonist. Yeah. The guy is the protagonist of the franchise. And now we got a times 3 XP bonus. What can I best put in here? We got 4 particle accelerators, which, you know, 57,000 XP should be quite decent. Yeah, 100 plus 180 strength sounds good to me. Plus 180 strength to lightning, you know, slight damage increases is gonna be, I feel like. But anyway, I respect you being, like, accepting that you're wrong. Like, the reason I loved Olivia from the beginning was, like, his character. I just love the guy. He's such a goof. The fact, like, one of my favorite character archetypes in general is, like, Chunies. And while Olivier isn't a Chuny, he radiates the same energy a Chuny would. Just being this like over-the-top silly character who you are like, what the fuck is wrong with you? And I appreciate this sort of energy. And that's why I love Olivier so much. Because he radiates that energy without being a Chuny. He's an absolute lovable dork. Should probably swap to diversity. That should probably make it easier here. So these enemies are gonna go die fast once they start taking damage. Like, if I ever need to level, I might just farm this group of enemies, because good god, they're gonna give good XP, I already know that. When it does a non-stop Blitzball section of this game, oh god, imagine. Honestly, every game could use more Blitzball. I still wait for the day Final Fantasy XIV has Blitzball. Also, how are you today, Cape? How are you doing? I hope you're well. Pandara, the absolute murder? Wasn't there for Blitzball Arena recently? Base? We need Blitzball in every game, to be honest. Every game should have Blitzball. And I don't mean just Final Fantasy games, I just mean every game, ever. Like, if I ever make a game, it's gonna have Blitzball in it. Like, Blitzball is still the theoretically coolest thing any game has ever done. Which ended up being, like, this huge waste. But how's your day been so far, Cape? Can you do Blitzball in RPG Maker? I mean, you can always find a way, right?
I'm waiting.
Like, the way they made Blitzball in the official game was pretty shit, so I feel like I could make something better in RPG Maker. I got a Simorg. Why? Why is it a weapon name for hope? Simorg? When I think of Simorg, I think of bird. Thank you, Yu-Gi-Oh! Honestly, let's swap to diversity so we can nuke these guys down. While also keeping our health up a bit. God, the damage they're taking from lightning! 22,000 damage! But in terms of number bloat, since we had that topic earlier, number bloat can be a good or a bad thing. It depends on how it works, in my opinion. In general, like, high damage numbers are obviously fun, but one example of like a high damage number is just being too much as Path of Exile. Like, in that game, you're dealing like several million damage, and it's just not needed.
Thanks.
Like, the numbers could be a lot more grounded, and like the numbers in that game could be divided by 1,000 in late game, and no one would complain. But then there's like games where like dealing more damage just feels better. Like, yeah, but my biggest issue personally with like number bloat isn't when it's like the damage numbers necessarily. It's when it is specifically like HP bloat in RPG. And the 3 damage per hit, yeah. It's HP bloat in RPGs. Like, most games have like, when it comes to difficulty settings, just increase the enemy's HP and lower your damage. And I don't think that's difficulty. That just makes the game more tedious, not more difficult. Because just making your numbers lower and the enemy's numbers larger is not difficulty. It just means you have to tank for longer, it just doesn't make it harder. It can usually be offset by like grinding for a tiny bit. And that's the kind of like difficulty I do not enjoy, because there is no difficulty here, right? Like, when the difficulty of a game boils down to, yeah, you're gonna have to fight me for like 15 minutes instead of 5. There is no difficulty in this. Like, if I can fight a boss for 5 minutes and be fine, I can fight him for 15 minutes and be fine.
Catch you later.
There is, like, no downside. There's, like, no upside to making the fight larger. Because there is nothing that, like, comes out of the longer fight. Like, what do you get by making the fight longer? You don't really get anything, do you? And that is my personal issue with this type of game. With, like, RPGs that have, like, HP bloat. There's just so much, like, cool shit RPGs can do in terms of difficulty. You can give bosses new abilities, less weaknesses, give the player more weaknesses in a way, add statuses to attacks. RPGs have so much creativity that you can employ when it comes to creating difficulty curves and creating difficulty for, like, difficulty settings. Most games just don't use those, and that's my big issue. Okay, this game obviously wants me to go in a certain direction. And I think that's when, like, the difficulty really becomes boring. When the HP bloat exists just to make the fight last longer, it's not fun. Monster Hunter, what you just brought up, Cape, was actually a good example of this. Monster Hunter, a part of the difficulty is the length of the fight. In Monster Hunter, this works because the game is designed around this way. It's designed around you being able to carry around limited resources and having, like, if you don't bring enough resources because you aren't prepared for the fight, you can go scavenge for more mid-fight. It's well designed in this way.
Thanks.
But in an RPG, when you get into a boss fight, you can't just leave and go collect more healing items. At that point, difficulty is just a resource drain, and seeing, like, how long you can make your resource last. It's not really difficult. It just means you gotta be... You gotta go around through the random encounters and use less items. It's not difficult, it's just tedious. And adding tediousness to a game doesn't make the game harder, it just makes the game more frustrating to be played. Just a minute, I need to go grab some more honey. Hello, pal, how are you doing today? I hope you're having a lovely day. How have you been? I haven't heard from you in a few days, I think. Were you here yesterday? Am I dumb and forgot you were here yesterday? I feel like I might be. I feel like you may have been here yesterday and I was being dumb just now. It was not? Okay, so I wasn't dumb. How are you doing, Opal? How's your day been? Reach. Oh god. Next floor! Woo! No, that's... I really think difficulty should come from bosses having unique things about them. From boss fights just making things more fun by having abilities that are varied and making you think about how you approach something. Because when you actually have to think about how you approach something, that's interesting difficulty. Just spread my time to everyone when lurking. Even before my Xbox Pass expires? Oh. Howdy, Benaria. And I mean, to be fair, most of the fun in these games comes from the multiplayer, in my opinion. Like, single-player Monster Hunter is fine. But I think where Monster Hunter excels is really the multiplayer aspect of it. Like, being able to hunt with other people, it's like, in my opinion, the peak of the game. I don't like hunting alone. Like, I think hunting alone is, like, fine. But especially... especially if you're going, like, blind into fights, having, like, people with you is just so much more fun. And then you have, like, a large variety of weapons, and when your weapon isn't as suited to the fight as someone else's, It makes the fight so much nicer. Yep. Like, did you have fun? Oh, I definitely did have fun. It was amazing. It was absolute chaos. But that was to be expected with us playing a randomizer with 12 people. But it was fun. Like, the gameplay was great. I think overall I will be looking forward to doing it again. And a part of the reason I'm really looking forward to doing it again is also how the stream approach towards it goes. Like, I'm not gonna lie, the stream at the beginning in the Archipelago stream in the beginning was very rough. But I really like new challenges as a streamer, and like having to manage like a voice call while also being and like playing the game. It's definitely an interesting thing to have to like think of while streaming. Like, how do I prioritize like properly talking to my stream, introducing the game properly, the mechanics. Like, I definitely learned a lot out of the Archipelago stream as a streamer, and I think that's cool. That was like a completely unintended side effect too. There was just something I didn't even think about, but I think it was something very important that I learned out of it, which I think is cool. I always think like I always appreciate getting to learn things, which is a weird thing because I know a lot of people don't care about like learning in that way. But I think like there are so many cool things out there that you do get to learn if you just invest your time into them. I think being able to like learn things out of experience because you like interact with stuff is really cool. Even though a lot of people are probably gonna disagree with it, and I'm like, you know what, screw learning, I got money, no. Wrong game, wrong franchise. What do you want me to hunt, buddy? With your totally not a side quest. Want me to hunt a Mushushu. Okay, let me hunt the Mushushu. Oh, it spawned in the same fucking room? Buddy, I was literally here a second ago. Why weren't you here? Okay, we're gonna kill the ants first, though, because that's gonna be faster that way, probably, hopefully. And for diversity. Gotta hunt the Mushi, yeah. Oh no, not the Mushi. Not again! Not the Mushi again, oh god. Oh no, flashback. Flashback, I've got Vietnam flashbacks right now. Vietnam flashbacks to the Mushi. So for those who don't get that reference, is a while ago I was streaming this fun game not called Clmbing. Imagine Pokemon, but legally distinct. And it had a mon called Mushi, which Mushi, if just slightly spelled differently than it was in the game, is a German slang word for vagina. So we basically had these like Pokemon running around that I kept encountering, and every time I saw them I just had to think, oh my god, this thing is called vagina. And obviously it felt very awkward.
New strategy.
Ah, get it. But how have things been otherwise, Opal? Have you been up to anything special? Or? It's very interesting to see also how effective elemental attacks are in this game. Like, it just getting the element added to lightning from Sass just makes the damage like double. It's insane. Another reason why I like Sass a lot, like just being able to add the correct element to my damage is so big. Hey, look, you got a sword again. Yay. Okay, I'm gonna go walk all the way around to see if there's something back here. Meow. There's gotta be nothing, is there? I joined for weeks and then randomized would want to practice the area a bit. I don't feel like I'm holding everyone back. Honestly, just go practice. Just go practice, and also an important notice. While you think you might be holding us back, One thing you gotta keep in mind with Archipelago is, while it's possible that you're gonna hold someone back, everyone is also gonna give you like a lot of support in terms of gameplay. Like you're gonna be unlocking a lot of things really early that you shouldn't be unlocking early. And it's gonna make progress just so much easier. And like, I don't know how it's gonna work out with Terraria because I've not done the Terraria randomizer. But still. Finally, some acknowledgement. I mean, I don't know I have not played Xenogears. In large because it's a franchise that never really came up to me. And by the time I learned about Xenogears, I'm in the middle currently of playing Xenoblade Chronicles 2. So it's not like I can just jump over to Xenogears real quick. But yeah, in what way is it acknowledging Xenogears? I am curious, Andre. Hey, Opal, just sit down and turn on like a single player session of the randomizer. If you need help setting that up, do let me know. I would gladly help ya. And yeah, it's honestly not that hard to just learn a randomizer. It sounds a lot more daunting than it actually is, in my opinion. And I think it counts that way for a lot of things. Gale, 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 where's the Gale, where's the Gale, 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 Gale. Oh, it's just the bottom, isn't it? Gale ring, increase the wind resistance, sure. And where's the enemy? Oh. Hi! How are you doing, enemy? Want to play randomizer for a bit? Randomizers are just good fun. Honestly, randomizers honestly do this like funny thing in my opinion, where they just seem so much more overwhelming than they actually are. Especially like with how many resources are out there nowadays. Like I tried for the Archipelago thing to get into the Final Fantasy 1 randomizer, and getting into that randomizer is so easy. Like Jesus fucking Christ, man! I've never thought getting into a randomizer would be that easy, but the Archipelago randomizer of like Final Fantasy 1, it just showed me how easy it is. And just sitting down learning it is easy. With consecutive combos, some that are more or less your time. Rainbow. Why do they keep throwing like so much equipment at me? Increases days resistance. Go for a run with no dash. Yes. I mean, the randomizer of Hollow Knight, that wasn't even too long ago. That was like 3 or 4 weeks ago, where Higgs did that Hollow Knight randomizer. And then even when Higgs got movement, it was like no movement to the left, only movement to the right or some shit. Still able to beat the game that way, but I know if I ever do a Hollow Knight randomizer, I will not be a vampire. Ooh. I will not be doing whatchamacallit. I will not be doing this like curse thing where it like splits up like your claw into left and right claw.
Thanks.
Because my god, does that sound stressful. Like if I get like dash, I want to be able to dash left and right. Because otherwise it's just gonna fry my brain. I don't have enough knowledge about Hollow Knight to deal with that. Oh my god! That was a lot of damage. What the hell? What the hell? Whale? Oh no. Oh no, he prevents me from attacking. That's so rude. It seems like they said, what if attacking spells were not worthless and buffs and debuffs were kind of broken? Honestly, that's one thing I haven't mentioned yet, but I really like how buffs and debuffs in this game are actually relevant. Like, my god, there are so many games make debuffs and buffs completely irrelevant. It makes me so happy that this game does not do that mistake. But they're also not as broken as like Shin Megami Tensei buffs and debuffs where they are necessary.
Here we go.
Like SMT, the buffs and debuffs are so ridiculous. I am so glad about like the game not like using shit like that. Like so many games in general have like this weird thing where buffs either are the most broken thing in the universe, or buffs are completely irrelevant. And I'm really glad that like this game at least managed to like have a nice balance of the two. Debuffs look weak, Previous usually neither way is fair, not so well stupidly OP. I mean, that's how buffs and debuffs work in this game, and how it works in the majority of games. But it's when buffs are like relevant, but you don't necessarily have to use them. That's nice in my opinion. Like I could go without using a synergist if I really wanted to, but I don't want to because I really like using Sass as a synergist. Also, we got like 40,000 more points to spend real quick, so. Yep. Hey Bimo, how are you doing today? I hope you've had a lovely day so far. I made some. Hey, you can't just come in and leave. I mean, you can, but why would you? I'm in pain. Why are you inside of bread? Get it? Because pain is French for bread. Oh god, that was one of the worst jokes I've ever done. I just came to say hi. Hi! Why are you in pain and why are you happy? Do you want to share with the class? I would love to hear why you're happy. Because just hearing people be happy is nice. Okay, Synergist is almost maxed out. Do we care about getting more on Sentinel? I think with Vendetta we're fine now, right? Like, what do we get over here? Challenge? Yeah, challenge doesn't really matter. We already have Provoke. Yeah, we already have Provoke. I don't think it's worth investing in. But Black is in pain. Girlfriend's coming over, so I'm happy. Oh, that's nice. That sounds nice. That sounds nice. Well, I hope you two have a lovely day. It's growing, cutting. Oh, God. Times 10 buffs and plus 10. Oh, God. Yeah, a lot of enemies like do buffs and debuffs weird in games. I'm really happy how this game handles buffs and debuffs. Okay, I go get ready now. Thank you so much for dropping by, I appreciate it. And I hope you two do have a lovely day together. And I hope you do get taken care and I hope that ingrown toenail of yours gets taken care of. Because that's ingrown toenails are the fucking worst, man. But yeah, I completely agree. Like, buffs and debuffs are such a weird thing. Hey, thanks for that. Buffs and debuffs in games are such a weird thing. It always makes me wonder how they're like constipated. Constipated? No, it's something completely different.
Thank you.
That is totally not what I meant. It makes me wonder how the concept was made of. Good God. Or sometimes how certain things just slip through playtesting. Hi enemies, I know you're coming for me, so let's just fight already, shall we? Are you gonna attack me? Thank you. Like, certain games just have buffs and debuffs that just are so irrelevant. And then there's like Final Fantasy X haste. Yeah, Final Fantasy X haste, I can always forgive the death for making it as busted as it is. Because, first of all, it was like a different time where all beta testing was done like in-house. And there was only like one super boss in the game. So you didn't really have like when the game was like originally made, they didn't have to like optimize it nearly as much as they do now. But if you like think about how, like, I don't think haste and flow in the way that they were in Final Fantasy X would ever be able to be approved again due to how busted they were. And I do say that as a huge Final Fantasy X fangirl. Like, I really don't think haste in the way it was like done to the degree it wouldn't be approved. It was so busted, man. Like, I think that's what made the game really difficult for me as a child. Like, obviously the game still has tough moments nowadays, now that I know how the game works and how things are busted, etc. But I think not using haste is what made the game really difficult for me as a kid. Because as a kid I was like, haste? This deals no damage, why would I use this? You know, the typical, like, 10-year-old Pokemon mentality of, why would I use this move called Sword Stance that doubles my attack? Like, hello? That makes no sense. Also, the user, like, getting is kind of like, yeah, I mean, Pokemon Buffs. The thing with Pokemon Buffs and why they're not, like, considered, like, the normal broken, like in other games, is Pokemon Buffs have like this weird thing going on where while they're broken, needing a turn to set them up, especially in like competitive, can often be too much of a cost, which is so weird if you think about it. Oh, wait, there's a chest down here I just ran past last time? Jesus Christ. Unsetting Sun, a new weapon for snow that I will never use. Like, Pokemon Buff's like a good example of, like, I think buffs done really well. Because oftentimes, like, while obviously the buffs taking up buffs take up a turn, which is a big reason why buffs aren't as broken as in, like, other games. And just taking a turn instead just often works better. Prior Tailwind agrees, yeah, but Prior Tailwind in VGC is like an outlier, right? It isn't the rule. It isn't like normally that a buff is so broken.
Thank you.
So fast that you don't have time to use the buff. But then again, like at the start of Scarlet and Violet meta, you basically had to use buffs or you were just not being able to be competitive. Oh, immune to physical attacks. Well, fuck you. Let's use Libra here real quick to see what else he's got up to. Guy is immune to oh my god. Capable of inflicting poison. Let's get the last Libra in here, please. And physical magic is low when staggered. I mean, that's what I figured. This was in a really weird situation. You know, Priority Tailwind is obviously like one of those things where it's definitely an exception rather than the rule. Like, obviously, anyone who's played VGC around the time Priority Tailwind was a thing knows just how busted it was.
Change of plan.
Dragon and Skeleton, yeah. I don't think anyone needs to tell you how busted Torch Song is. Good fucking god. Especially in a casual playthrough, Torch Song is maybe one of the most busted spells ever, busted abilities ever made in Pokemon.
Thanks.
Like, good fucking god. Grimmsnarl is also kind of fun that we got. Yeah, again, like, Grimmsnarl is again the exception, not the rule, right? Like, while Grimmsnarl does well, it's like, it was like one of few ones that do well in that regard.
Time for another.
Like, another good example of like buffer and debuffer that like work really well is, as much as I hate that asshole, and I will always hate that asshole, what's its face? the fire type starter that has frustrated pretty much every player ever.
Keep the enemy off balance.
Oh god, what's its name? Incineroar, exactly. Incineroar is another great example of a buffer and debuffer, well, for debuffer specifically, being pretty good in the game. But again, it's like, Incineroar there is the exception rather than the rule. Like, buffs and debuffs in general are very strong, but they're like contextually strong rather than just conventionally strong like in other games. I still think one of the funniest things they've done is like, in the new game, in the new DLC, they released a new evolution for the apple Pokemon, Hydrapple. I really like it. Because of Salt Cure. I mean, Salt Cure isn't the debuff. Salt Cure is the damage over time effect. Which you could argue damage over time effects are debuffs, but I'm on the part where I argue no. In my opinion, debuffs are what ultra stat. But yeah, what was I gonna say? Goddamn, now I'm out of. Yeah, they released like Hydrapple with Clmbing, and Clmbing is such an interesting thing in that regard, where a Clmbing has this like chance to deal double damage, but is it broken is the real question, right? Like obviously you could argue like, yeah, it's broken, it has a chance to deal double damage, but like, if that more broken was like increasing your special attack by 50% more broken than you would expect of him, yeah. To be fair, I much rather Incineroar just didn't exist, man. Incineroar is one of those Pokemon I really wish just didn't exist. I don't like it. I don't like its design. I don't like anything it stands for. I've never liked Incineroar. Like, Incineroar is such a weird mon, I've never really enjoyed it. It's just, I don't like it. Oh my god, what the fuck are you? And I want to fight you. Let me use one of my free AG salts that I still got. Hi! You look cool! Okay, yeah, you look dope. I like fighting you already. I remember last time we fought one of these guys, it was on top of the Pope's ship, I'm pretty sure.
Thanks.
But no, I really like the idea of like having some viable buffers and debuffers, but in general, like the rule is that buffers and debuffers aren't that good. I much rather, on average, the buffers and debuffers not be good than they be busted. But I think if buffers and debuffers are good but not busted, it's a lot more fun to play. Don't die, please. Technique renew to make sure everyone's like fully healthy.
Thank you.
Team Date Incineroar, I get it, but for being bipolar and people want to credit that. It's really annoying competitively. I don't like its design. It's very much a Bara furry design, and I'm A, not a furry, and B, I mean, honestly, there doesn't need to be a B here. Then there's like the whole thing of, while obviously got like this like two leg thing going on, that's only part of the issue. The other part of the issue also leans into the fact that you gotta keep in mind, while it isn't firefighting, it really is firefighting. Like, if you showed me Incineroar and asked me what type is it, and I didn't know, I would tell you it's a firefighting type. Because that's what it looks like. It looks like a firefighting type. It isn't one, I know that, but it looks like one. Oh my god, lightning damage! Holy shit! Like, Incineroar ended up being hated for, like, a variety of reasons. I think the reasons he got hated for were right. And Agalon, that sounds interesting. Like, Incineroar did some things right, some things wrong, but overall, I think, went over a pretty mid design. Look at Fire Fighters because of fans, I know it, probably. After all, controversies do breed a bit of like talk. Egyptian Sand. Hi, buddy. Is he gonna get annihilated by more of our friends again?
I'm getting tired of this. Let's double back.
Why? Huh? I am so confused.
There's gotta be something useful here.
For the love of all that's good.
Okay, looks like I gotta go a different way now because he froze that guy over. Why not? That's such a random thing to do. Hey, you know what? Let's just freeze the statue. I know. I feel like Incineroar is like an unfortunate victim of circumstance design-wise, and I personally hate it for all the same reasons other people do. It looks like a firefighting type. Its design doesn't spark creativity. You look at it and like you've seen it before without having seen it. It just feels like such a generic design at that point, and it just looks too humanoid. And now, if someone like comes over and is like, you know what, God of War looks too human. If to you God of War looks like a human being, I'm sorry, but your furry meter is a bit too high. Like, okay, or either your furry meter is a bit too high, or you've got way too high of like a female body standard. Because Jesus fucking Christ, that thing doesn't have like, you know, I've heard of hourglass figures before, but like God of War goes beyond having an hourglass figure, man. Like, that's not an hourglass figure anymore. That's just like a stick figure. And these are Italian. Oh, I agree. I 100% agree. In Generation 8 is the only generation of Pokemon that I've played so far where I've elected not to use my starter. Like, I dropped my starter from the team, which I've never done before in Pokemon. In every other generation, I've actually used my starter, but in Generation 8, I didn't like any of them. Which felt so weird, like after like always using my starter and like many games even just using my starter. I just didn't like any of them. Which is just so weird and so wild. I'm gonna use the water starter. I don't like any of the starters in Gen 8 personally. I think, like, again, like Incineroar, obviously it's not a firefighting. No, it is a fucking firefighting type. Don't fuck with me. Plus, it's just so fucking human. Like, you can say what you want, but like, look at it. Look at fucking not Incineroar. What's its face? The bunny soccer player. I don't fucking know its name right now. But like, look at that thing and tell me it's like look at that little thing and tell me it's like not one of the most dumb looking things ever, one of the most human looking things. And then there's a monkey, and I just don't like monkeys. Diamond Bangle, ooh. More HP. I feel like Duffer's Heroes being super buffing in these situations better than generic buffers. Yeah, I agree. I think buffers and debuffers do have their niche, and I feel like depending on the... Yeah, Cinderace, exactly. I think like depending on the game, buffers and debuffers should exist and be relevant. But it really depends on the game. They don't need to be relevant in every game. And I don't think buffs should generally be like a main focus of your combat system. Because at the point where like you've got a combat system and buffs and debuffs are mandatory, really you've created a bad combat system in my opinion. It's part of the reason why I don't like SMT, because if buffs and debuffs are just necessary, this by default just limits up your, like as a player, it limits up your options. And that's part of the reason why I don't like SMT games. Like, thanks to buffs and debuffs being completely necessary, from the very beginning of the game, you're like, you are limited in your options. Because your team always has to be able to like supply the necessary buffs and debuffs. Meaning what you run is always like partially predetermined. And I don't like that. Other than using Gen 2 and Chikorita gang here, I mean, you're wrong, but I respect it, that you're like loud about being wrong, right? Like, Totodile is, in my opinion, one of the best starters ever. Always encounter taking for weakness. In SMT games, like I've played some of them, and they're all designed about buff and debuffs being used. Like at least the mainline. The Persona not as much, but mainline SMT games pretty much demands the use of debuffs and buffs. Like I played SMT 5, and if you want to play the game without buffs and debuffs, it's just like the game definitely expects you to use buffs and debuffs. Do you want to do any kind of damage? I mean, yeah, but like the game is like the game is like designed around that way, right? Where you get access to a ton of buffs and debuffs, access to a ton of buffs and debuffers. Thanks. Even making like some of the good ones free, and yeah, there's not much else to say. Like they give you a ton of options from the get-go, pretty much. And even here's the thing: if you casually play through Honkai or through Star Rail, like if you just want to play the game casually, you do not need the buffers and debuffers. That is, in my opinion, like one of the important things. Like you do not need buffers and debuffers for the story. Like you need a healer for the story, yeah, but you don't need a buffer or debuffer to beat the story, and that's, in my opinion, the important part. Like, in my opinion, buffers and debuffers shouldn't be mandatory for the story. Unless the game is, like, providing ample of it. And more of that, you're fighting the giant thing. Woo! SMT3 is not beatable without buffs and debuffs. Yeah, I've seen the video on it. Of Gnarly. Yeah, he is such a good content creator in terms of like what he puts out. These guys are so... These statues are so silly, I love them. Oh. And... point. And Nyali is an SMT content creator, Shin Megami Tensei. Well, he's like branched out a bunch.
The way's clear. Right.
But Nyali is like a content creator focused around like a lot of like Shin Megami Tensei stuff, doing challenge runs of other games like Castlevania as well. And he's done like a video on especially Shin Megami like SMT3. It's like one of his like most famous videos, like can you beat Shin Megami Tensei 3 without buffs and debuffs? And no, you cannot physically beat that game without buffs and debuffs. It is literally physically, it is numerically impossible to beat that game without buffs and debuffs. That is not how games should be, in my opinion. Like, making things easier, yes, I do enjoy that. But being necessary to beat the story for the game, no. That's, in my opinion, like the big thing. Like, debuffs and buffs shouldn't be necessary to beat the story, but they should be able to make the story easier. Which is why, again, like, points to Final Fantasy X. Final Fantasy X does it fantastically. Where you do not need buffs and debuffs to beat the story. But using buffs and debuffs, especially like haste, haste makes your life through the story so much easier. But at no point does the game like sit down through the story and it's like you now have to use buffs and debuffs. But at several points the game it becomes a lot easier if you do. But it's never like you're only out. And Hoyoverse games do the similar thing, right? Where if you just play the story, obviously you're gonna have a lot easier time using buffers and debuffers. But you can also get away with just brute forcing things with like a super tanky team. Like you can do some shit like, I don't know, like using Japard and like a full ass tanky team. But at no point does the game like sit you down. It's like, yeah, you now have to do things my way. Or you don't work, you cannot physically win. During the story, that is. And that is important for me. Like, the important part for me really boils down to, does the story force you into playing a certain way? And while I personally appreciate games that, like, make the game harder if you don't do it certain ways, I never like it when the game forces players to play in a way that they don't want to. Let's get the extra accessory slot. Let me bring a thing. Ooh, bad design. I mean, that I'm gonna disagree with. That I disagree with, that's just a more RPG design. Is the animation speed up? Yes, the longer you're in the Crystarium thing, the faster it goes. Becoming basically instant after you activate a few. But like in MMORPG, it's like obviously a different thing. Because actually I should go back to the 5th floor to see if there's something hidden there. In MMORPG, you always gotta consider it's like a thing where like you're playing with other people. It's not like a you, yourself, and I situation. It's like a situation where you sit down with like a lot of people and all of you do like things together. It's a way different story because it's a moment where like you would be going to like, let's say FF14, and the game wasn't enforcing like healer, tank, DPS sort of dungeons. Like imagine the way they would have to like design dungeons in that moment, right? Like imagine them having to design a dungeon without a healer. Like would that be really fun still? I wouldn't enjoy it personally. Because I play an MMO to like play with people. If you don't want to play with people, there's always the option to do duty support. There you can bring all the warriors you want during the story. Warriors can heal. Yes. I think pretty instant.
Tell me we're not lost.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. Okay, I have to go. Oh, yeah. I mean, the game will force me to go north. Oh, we already did the south part. No one is forcing me to go north. Hey, it's one of those guys that's gonna aero me in a second. Woo! We're gonna fly. Shall we fly high? Oh, he's so fucked. Slowly is sometimes depends on the level and the amount of DPS there is. Yeah, but like, again, it's like the niche scenario, right? Like if I really want to, starting in somewhere in Stormblood, I could solo heal the dungeon as a paladin. But the game just isn't designed around that, and that's completely fine. I think that's even better than any other thing you could do. But being about heroes? Yeah, and I think shit like that is cool. I really think like the game being beaten in ways where how it wasn't intended is cool. I love shit like that. But again, it's like multiplayer things. In a single player game, it's like a different thing, right? Like in multiplayer games, I'm fine with the game forcing me to play a certain way. Will do, Gangnam. How do you do today? Like in multiplayer games, I'm much more open to the game forcing me to play in certain ways than I am willing to do the same in the single player game. Oh! Water hits different. By the way, has it been snowing for you guys? We've got so much snow outside again, it's like paying in. Luckily, by the time we woke up, it seems like our neighbors had taken care of shoveling the snow for us, which was really nice.
Over here, this way.
It says I know I need to go that way, but I want to check if there was a chest around here. But yeah, basically, to get back to my... to give a quick conclusion to what I was saying. I personally think that in single-player games, it's a lot more acceptable for games to like force you to play a certain way than this in multiplayer. No, other way around. A multiplayer game is a lot more acceptable for the game to force you to play in a certain way, because there you have to like play with other people, interact with others, and how you play could like ruin the experience for others. Meanwhile, in a single-player game, there is no experience for others to ruin. So, if the game forces you to play a certain way in a single-player game, you can just... That is just how it is. There is no big downside of it, if the game is designed around letting that happen. Like, for example, let's say... what game would be a great example of, like, having to play a certain way? Final Fantasy... for free is a great example of how to not force players to play a certain way.
Thanks.
For those unfamiliar, Final Fantasy III introduced the drop system, which I don't think I need to go over how important the drop system is. Like anyone here who's ever played any Final Fantasy game probably knows how important it is. It's summer in the north? What? It's winter up here where I am. But you know, going over how important drop system is, I don't think I need to mention it. But when it came out very early on, it was this like weird thing. Because while the drop system was obviously like cool and interesting from the get-go, because that's just how it is designed. God, I can give someone like plus 500 HP. Does someone have a plus HP ring? Oh, you do. Nice. While obviously the drop system allows for like a lot of customization. Oh my god, please don't tell. Oh no, they're all in one fight? Ew, that seems like pain. Okay, this might be the hardest fight we've had in a while. Probably the second hardest fight today. Let me get my point across real quick. Final Fantasy III is very weird in how it's designed. A lot of its encounters like force you to have certain jobs. Like there are jobs that there are encounters which are like unbeatable unless you have your party is like four dragoons. And that's the like bad type of like difficult, like forcing you to play a certain way. Because now you need to like change up your entire party into dragoon and level them a bit as dragoon in order to be able to like beat the game. That's the bad type of like difficulty. Oh my god. Renew real quick, Lightning. Please get up. Ah! Renew again so everyone is on full life. Oh my god. Woo! That was rough. But yeah, when it comes to like that, it's like, in my opinion, that's like bad in terms of like forcing down a player how to play a certain way. Like Final Fantasy III just did it the worst. where you have to do exactly what the game wants of you at some points, or the game becomes unplayable. And that's what I do not like. Meanwhile, there's like games like Final Fantasy IV. Final Fantasy IV opens up with a boss fight against the Mist Dragon. And the Mist Dragon has this like weird gimmick going on, where if you attack into it, while it's in its mist form, it will counter with a really strong counter attack. Oh my god, did we die? Yep, we're dead. Oh.
No.
Them having double arrow got back to back, that was mean. Okay, wait. Access Blade is still the best thing here. I think I'm gonna solve the collector catalog as much as I like it. I think we wanna go for, where is it? ATB Advantage again with the Whirlwind Scarf. Or Mist Dragon Sword. Yeah, exactly. Like the Mist Dragon in Final Fantasy III is a great example of like how to make difficulty and how to force players to play a certain way without making it feel like unfair. Because the Mist Dragon in Final Fantasy III and Final Fantasy IV, it forces you to like play slower and actually like time your attacks. Like you had to wait for the enemy to like get out of mist form before attacking. And while it sounds like a simple thing to do, that added so much depth to the combat, and still like it forced you to play in a certain way. But it's not like it forced you to like change up your build or anything. Or did it just avoid the knockup by buffering renew? Oh, that's cool. Oh my god, double arrow yet again. That is so rough when they use double arrow. Get some more buffs in, please, Seth! You can do this, I believe in you! But Mist Dragon was like a really easy tutorial, and like one of the ways where the game would like, in which I think Mist Dragon was a bit of a genius design, was one of the party members you have at the moment where you fight the Mist Dragon is Kane the Dragoon. And if you input like jump too early, he would like jump down the moment the Mist Dragoon does this like thing. So you would like fall down, and the moment you fall down, the Mist Dragoon would counter you for like a million gajillion damage. And since you got counted for a million gajillion damage, you would then run into the issue of dying. You know, the video game issue of death. So the game did force you to now play in a certain way where you would only jump on Kane after you saw him come out of the mist. Because you knew that when he came out of the mist, you wouldn't go into the mist for a while. So you knew you would be safe. Okay, one is down. It's gonna make the fight hopefully a lot easier. Good god, I really want some more buffs up, but you know what? Yeah, let's get some more buffs up. We really need them. Or what the fuck killed Lightning?
No.
I just thought Lightning died. Why? What killed her? Huh. Okay, I think... Paradigm. I think we might need what I don't like, and that's Medic. Medic probably Sentinel as well, yeah. Don't like having Lightning as a medic, but it is what the game demands, I think. It's very much me being stubborn not to play a healer in this game because of how awful the offensive AI gets the moment I talk to a healer. I really like Mist Dragon's design. Mist Dragon is such a good boss design. Only does Snow be good on this? Not really. Snow would just be tanky, but he doesn't do anything.
Keep the enemy off balance.
Like, Snow wouldn't really actively change anything about the fight here. Combat clinic, heal everyone up real quick. Oh, all the healing. Something got others, can't remember. What he does, he provokes the enemy into attacking him. And since my issue is like the massive AoE attacks and people would just stand in the AoE, it really wouldn't change anything.
Stay down.
The brand would always kill someone. I mean, yeah, I'm pretty sure that guy is just based on the Mistdragon from Final Fantasy IV. But no, the Mistdragon as the tutorial was like such a genius design. They reused that in Final Fantasy VI for a tutorial boss, where the game teaches you to like not attack the snail while it's in its shell, because otherwise the counterattacks will get gajillion damage, just like the Mistdragon. I like it. Like, this is how the game like really teaches you well how like its mechanics work. It's not like, it's like a really well done tutorial, because you don't even necessarily realize you are within a tutorial, but you most definitely are playing a tutorial in that moment. The game just doesn't shuffle the fact that like, it has like a whole like design decision from like modern day versus old day, blah blah blah. And I think like Ego Raptor used to have a series and it's like called Sequelitis, if I remember correctly, where he would I think like this episode in like Mega Man versus Mega Man X described it really well, where old games just had like these like really well made tutorials which showed you how the game worked without like giving you a million gajillion text boxes about them. Like non-intrusive tutorials are such a thing we don't even have anymore. Which I personally really miss non-intrusive tutorials.
Thanks.
Like, tutorials are obviously necessary to some degree based on the game you're playing. Like, Final Fantasy XIV has so many mechanics which are just complex and need tutorials. But then again, there's like other games. Oh my god. Combat clinic, quick. Ouch!
I'm so intense.
Let's just learn random ability names. Yeah. Like, definitely, like, tank busts and stuff are like really good designs. Let's just get some wind resistance on lightning. I mocked the wind resistance item earlier and now here I am going back to it. Already got banned. Wow. That gotta be some sort of speed record. But no, I really think a lot of games do like well-designed stuff. But like tutorials really are a thing where I think a well-designed game needs barely any tutorials. I'm not saying it needs no tutorials because that would just be a lie. Ouch!
No.
Okay, that was quick. That attempt at the side was really quick. I knew I would dread the side the moment going in, you know. It also seems like these guys can't be ambushed because they don't see me before I go in, but they already do everything against me. But no, tutorials are really like a weird thing, where some games really desperately need them while others really don't. And I think how well a game is designed can usually be seen in the amount of tutorials it actually needs. Like, yeah. No, my stand, bird up. Everything touches from some to the restaurant television until the ad break starts. Talking about ad break, there's one soon on Twitch. How do you do, Blues? How's your day been? How has your day been? But you know, oh my god! Woo! Renew quickly. Let's give the buff back. Funny part of the game as well as Dark Souls. Yeah, Dark Souls is a tutorial as well. Because you barely need a tutorial for Dark Souls. Dark Souls is just very basic mechanics that don't need a lot of explanation. Like, the fuck do you need explained in Dark Souls? I understand, based on Eric Andre. Why? Why is stand based on Eric Andre, of all people? You win 1-2 thrown against the boss. You don't necessarily like the whole thing of being like thrown to a boss wasn't even necessary about it.
Thank you.
Like the thing that makes like the Dark Souls tutorial so good is the game is just basic. Dark Souls doesn't have a lot of like depth when it comes to like its basic mechanics. Dark Souls depth comes in when you look into like stuff beyond like the basics, right? Like the deeper you look into Dark Souls, the more complex it gets. But at a basic level, like it's a level where like any casual gamer can play the game. You don't need a lot of tutorials for Dark Souls. Meanwhile, I saw a Reddit post the other day.
Thanks.
And I'm not over this Reddit post. The Reddit post. That Reddit post really made me question people. Because the Reddit post was about like a weird thing having appeared on someone's screen, and them asking them what is while playing 14. Now, here's the thing. Obviously, like, people learn at different rates in MMORPGs and stuff, and that's completely fine. But when the game literally goes out of its way to give you a tutorial to explain you what you just got, and you then proceed to like ignore the tutorial, like the thing that this person just got on screen to ask about was the indicator for you having your tank stance toggled on.
You afraid of old Sam?
Thanks.
And honestly, it's a moment where like you sit there and like there's a tutorial for the tank stance being toggled on, and you just skip it and then like go on to the end. That's like, what is this thing? It's like you literally got a pop-up to explain what the thing is when you got it. Why did you not just read that? Maybe it was possible except for one time that one was also not possible with documentation. That's nice. But it was just such a weird thing, just like sitting there, like reading about like one guy trying, like they went out of their way to make a Reddit post to ask about a thing that they should have known if they just read the tutorial the moment it popped up. Like, if you get a new ability and the game gives you a pop-up about the ability, why don't you just read that pop-up? Like, is it really easy to just go to Reddit and just ask instead of just reading the thing that literally pops up the moment you get that tutorial? Like, when I saw that, it was just flabbergasted. I was just so confused. Didn't you learn to run near the end of the game? Yeah, but it's not like running was necessary until that point. Running was at no point necessary until that point. I managed to get to that point without running. I would say this was good game design. I didn't need running at any point until that point. But at that moment I needed running. So what did I do? I started pressing buttons. I started pressing buttons in ways I didn't before to see if I missed the run option. And I did. I didn't miss the run option. But that was on me for not playing around with the buttons. Because I'm just so used to like hand-holding tutorials to tell me about the run option. Like, I just expected if there was a run option for there to have been a tutorial about it, but I was wrong about it. And then it came to bite me in the ass, and I still think, like, there's a reason why I keep bringing up that clip personally as well. It's because I think it's a beautiful moment. Like, this might sound silly. Like, I think it generally sounds silly. But I think it's a beautiful moment for me to have found out about the basic game feature like that hours into the game without having needed a tutorial about it. The game gave me a challenge needing the specific thing. And I then proceeded to find out how the specific thing worked. And I love that. It's silly, it makes me laugh because I found the run button 20 hours into a game. But it's not like I needed the run button earlier in the game. In general, I think Code Vein is a beautifully designed game in terms of like its tutorials, how it approaches the player and everything. Like, Code Vein does a really good job at teaching the player its mechanics. Also, chat, we're gonna run a quick ad. I'm gonna do only some level upping and some drinking while we do this. Seeing as there's likely cutscenes in the boss fight coming up, so... See you guys in 3 minutes! Na 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 na. But yeah, it is just beautiful thing. Like, I think Code Vein really did a good job at managing its leveling system and everything. Out of the fun tutorial case, it didn't go into the point and learn most mechanics that are possible in that game. Yeah, I think I saw that too. It wasn't the tutorial cave, it was one of the tutorial shrines. And the shrine they specifically went into taught about like the whole like backflip into like time goes slower mechanic, if I remember correctly. I think I've seen that thing too. Okay, the accessory's back here. That's what we're going for. And to be fair, it was also like fairly easy to miss that specific shrine. But I think, again, like, it's fine. Okay, let's give some levels to Hope. Oh god. Water bottle emptied? Time to spend time to level up everyone who isn't part of our main party in case they are forced into my party at some point. Which, you know, it's gonna be a lot of fun in case they are. Like, I'm always ready for bullshit like that because I've played RPGs before. At some point, Hope will likely be forced into my party again if I want to or not. But yeah, I mean, I don't think there's anything wrong with, like, the game teaching you in that way, right? Like, in the end, you could beat the game without those features. If those features were needed, the game would have taught you about that in the fourth tutorial, but it didn't because it wasn't necessary. And I like shit like that. The game didn't need to, like, slow down and be like, here, this is how you do these advanced combat things. You could beat the game without them. And I think game design like that is beautiful. Aww, he's so close to Kurasa. That's rude. Oh god, he has a bunch of levels. Oh no. Only leveling Snow in case he's ever forced into my party again. Woo! He's getting so much shit right now. He goes up so much HP. Ah, God. But in my opinion, it's like when the game is designed in a way where you can not know a majority of like some game features and be able to still beat the game. That's beautiful game design. Like, you shouldn't need to be able to use every bit of a game feature to beat it. Last ever close range chance second level against medium range. So allow which requires Hum Mastery or return to what the fuck? What the fuck did I just read, Blues? Excuse me, but what the fuck? Did ever someone else react or feel some way about something that you cannot comprehend? I mean, yeah. I mean, honestly, the easiest way to like talk about that sort of thing is like if you think about something where like if someone react or feel somewhere about something that you cannot comprehend, it's very easy. Not showing the message of others. Andre, I'm streaming on both Twitch and on YouTube. So whenever you see me respond to someone who you don't see, it's because I'm responding to my Twitch chat. So you don't see like Pascal, Blues Break talking because they are on Twitch and you are over on YouTube. That's why you didn't get an ad break when I mentioned ad break, because YouTube, I'm not monetized there yet. So it's not that you don't see the message of others because they're literally on a different chat. Them alone on YouTube. That's mostly because I started streaming on Twitch like over a year ago, but I only recently started streaming on YouTube. So my YouTube audience is like a lot smaller. I don't know how many people watch me on YouTube. It's not that many compared to Twitch, and that's completely fine. But as you can see, I respond to you the same way I would respond to my Twitch chat. So it's not like you have a downside of being on YouTube. In fact, like, both platforms have their upsides and downsides. Like, YouTube, I think, has the advantage of, like, less ads, for example. And to each their own. And time to save and go into the boss side. I hope there's a boss side at least. Because, okay, one small rant real quick. We haven't had a boss fight in ages. How do you meow in the same way as my cat? I don't know. Did I meow? Did I meow, chat? If I did, I didn't realize I meowed. You didn't, okay.
I feel dizzy.
Okay, doesn't look as if there's any chests yet. Let's go into the middle and greet the boss. Hi, boss fight. I really hope there's a boss fight here. Please tell me there's a boss fight after this lift. I've been starved for a boss fight for so long now.
Hey, look.
It has to be, right? Please.
He's acting strange. He must be weak from losing his tail.
And now he's supercharged. Hi.
Yeah.
Oh.
Plenty feisty to me.
He's bluffing to scare us off. Let's just go with that, all right? Come on, we can do this.
Where? True. Okay, that looks like a cool as fuck boss. The feeling of being boss starved, yeah. Like generally, I don't mind boss starved, like being boss starved, because it's fine usually. But game has been like, when this game was at its peak, it usually had boss fights going. The Haka isn't that a Starcraft monster? No, that's the Haka. But you're completely right. It's pretty close to being the Starcraft character, the Haka. Let's use a Libra scope to get more knowledge on the thing. Oh, it's weak to literally every element. I mean, I'll take that. The name from your stuff. Yeah, he is called Dehaka. He's all about like hunting down people and getting their essence. Very primal way of being. In fact, he's like the remaining leader, quote unquote, of the primal Zerg. Really cool, like lore thing. Okay, let's actually start going all in with the damage. Let's see how we can do here. 4-minute thunderstorm. You know what? Let's go into the heal stage real quick.
No.
Excuse me, what the fuck? Excuse me, what the fuck? Let's go to you. No. You see, the big issue here is I was on full HP. I was on full HP. I swapped to healing so I could heal afterwards. What the fuck? What the fuck? I was not ready to be one shot. No, I'm sorry. What the hell, man? I was not ready for the one shot. I will admit that much. Okay, in that case, Gale Ring, be gone. Where is the light? Where's the fire resistance ring? Resist fire 20%. You don't need the Fulmin ring because you want fire resistance here. You can also use auto shell instead. With the to a normal chain encounter. The Tales of Berseria is still such a weird game. I'm not sure how I feel about it to this day. I kind of want to get back to it at some point, but it's also like, eh. Tales of Berseria is weird. The combat just isn't for me. The story was good, so the story I liked. You're on the boss fight, here you go. I mean, yeah, I'm happy. I'm not complaining about being one-shot there. I actually really enjoyed that. But I'm also probably weird for enjoying being one-shot in the boss fight.
Keep your mind on the battle.
Okay, let's start immediately with the Libra Scope to see that it's got weakness to everything, so SAS buffs our elemental damage earlier. Iron Cold Seer are my new addictions. Yeah, I mean, that's completely fair. I really like the early game of Berseria. Like, I really enjoyed early game Berseria, but like, when it came to the mid-game, I started liking it less. In my opinion, Berseria fell off a bit. But it may have been just me, and yeah. Foul Utterance, that's a different attack from last time.
Thank you.
That did a bit of dispelling. So he does different attacks based on I don't know what yet. So one-shotting you, one makes it special, yeah. Okay, time for Relentless Assault. Oh god, he cast Faith. Everyone Saboteur here. One Saboteur here, Vanille can dispel him. Thank you, Vanille.
Keep the enemy off balance.
We want our best for him to never have Faith up when attacking. Which I think was the mistake last time. Yep, Firestorm's incoming. Swap to control. Yep, that went a lot better already. Ouch! Still, but that went a lot better.
Thanks.
I really like how it also changed the entire background to be this fiery thing now. That's a very visually pleasing boss fight, I gotta say. Yeah, I also play him to mention games playing about one-shots. I mean, one-shots are, in my opinion, like a fine thing when they're like one-shots in RPGs are cool, in my opinion, if they are early on in fights.
Change of plan. Thank you.
I think boss fights in RPGs are a bad thing if they are late in fights. But if they're early on in fights, I don't mind them. Okay, immediately swapping to Bully. Remove that haste right now. Remove that haste right the fuck now. There is no way I'm letting the boss haste himself. I might be crazy, but I'm not insane. Like, hello? Only rotates through his weaknesses. That's interesting. Bone Chilling Breaker. Okay, it's gonna be Ice Face. Okay, so we need more like general elemental resistance in this fight rather than like specific ones.
Here we go. Thanks.
Okay, let's go into Relentless Assault to hopefully deal a lot of damage now that it's been down phase. Oh god, look at the damage coming in. 8,000, 9,000, 10,000. Oh my god. I've attacked them with one-shot roulette with critical error. Yeah. I mean, that's just a funny ability. I like roulette. Like, a lot of people who play tactics will tell you roulette is a dumb ability and shouldn't exist. I will tell you they are wrong because it's funny. And I think an ability being funny is still merit-worthy. It's free content. I like how people have really shifted from saying, yeah, it's funny to it's free content. Like, it's not you specifically, but it's just a general thing that has happened over the years. Like, no, this moment is funny. No, it's free content. It is such a weird thing. He's not doing anything and I don't like it. Because you're a streamer? Yeah, but it's not just a thing you're saying, but it's like a thing that's been starting to say in general. Like, it's not just you who says it's free content, it's a thing I've noticed more and more recently in general. Okay, we got like a bunch of debuffs on him. Let's start with dealing damage, and hopefully he doesn't like go into like a big damage mode right now. Oh, I see Faith, bully mode. Dispel, thank you. I guess that means it's an incoming big damage because he just used the buff. And Diluvial Plague. Okay, that sounds scary. That did less than I expected, but oh my god, the debuffs. Oh my god, the debuff. Holy shit, the debuffs.
Keep the enemy off balance. And so it ends.
What the hell? Okay. Okay. I was not ready for that. Okay. For the breath. Pascal, you want to know what the inspiration for bad breath is? Bad breath. The inspiration for bad breath in Final Fantasy XIV is bad breath from the marble in like Final Fantasy II. Do I have like something that can like increase my not debuff resistance, but like yeah, I mean we got 2 rune bracelets. You got one. Everyone got one equipped now. Maybe that will help me. Wow, that's rough. This enemy is strong. This enemy do be strong. Oh, the inspiration from a game that came later. Did 13 come after 14? What's the original behind the original bad breath? I think the inspiration behind the original bad breath is, wouldn't it be funny if we just made it some move that can inflict everything? 14 is after 13? Yeah. I mean, Pascal, in that case, what you said is still correct. I think you thought it was wrong, but you were correct in what you said. Ouch! Oh my god! Words are hard sometimes. Oh, I get it completely. Trust me. But I didn't know it. I just want you to say to confirm it.
Thanks.
I mean, honestly, I do not know the original inspiration behind Bad Breath. I only know, like, it might be cigarettes because the enemy who uses it is called Marlboro. Like, you know, the cigarette brand. Throwing shade at every smoker out there. Ah, he's using Faith. Nope! Bully mode! Dispel that immediately, thank you. Combat Clinic time, he's using his big damage move in a moment. Come on, use your big damage move. There it is, 4 minutes Firestorm. Ouch! Ouch!
You afraid of old Sam?
And I'm drawing. Oh no, they aren't, but it's still like kind of funny. It's still kind of funny if in like context. I should go for Hero's Charge so that Sass can give like the correct elements again. Ouch! Oh, there's a lot of damage coming in. Thank you for the bar fire, but can you give me some offensive element, please, Sass? I would really appreciate it. Oh no, offensive element. Oh, against this element doesn't matter. Fair enough. Oh, because I don't have Imperil on him. I don't have his resistance decreased. Save, no, haste, no. Vanille, do your best, get rid of all of his buffs, thank you.
Change of plan.
Appreciate Vanille getting rid of all those buffs here, man. There's the asthma debuff. Okay, time to deal the most damage that we can, because Jesus Christ, now it's time. He's down, we got like all the damage buffs we got, and now we can go hopefully and take it out. Because this enemy is strong. I wasn't ready for this guy to be this strong, but hey. I gladly take it. I think this is already the boss we died to the most during the story. And we died to it once. I know that says more about me or the boss, to be honest. I could either express that I'm an absolute gamer or express that the boss in this game are shit. Oh my god, 64,000 damage twice! Lightning goes hard! Good god! I can both return at the same time? I mean, they can. Getting all the buffs up. Thank you, Seth. Review old plague. Okay, I'm ready for it this time. Because now it's time for the spell, yeah? We're already in the right... which gets rid of all the debuffs instantly. And now Seth can buff everyone up again. And Vanille can heal everyone. Then we can hopefully survive whatever's coming next. Faith coming in. Vanille, quickly get rid of that buff so we don't die. Thank you, Vanille. Back to diversity. He was charged. Foul utterance is fine. It's just big damage on one character. Ouch. Not something weird about Brazil, sure. I mean, I always like enjoy learning fun facts. Fun facts are like one of the coolest thing in the world. Okay, bravery is nice. And now we put up bully again because he's buffing himself. Can this guy stop buffing himself? I really do not appreciate it. I also really like another Imperil from Vanille to come out. I think this guy Imperil is really nice. Brazil from Brazil means, oh god. Luminous Firestorm, back to Combat Clinic so we take less damage. Ouch!
Change of plan.
Bully time. Hopefully get rid of the debuffs as well. Hero's charge. The debuffs landed. Ouch! Vanille, don't go down, please. Please heal yourself, Vanille. We need you. We definitely do need you still. Okay, now everyone is maximum debuffed and we can actually go hard, I think. Like, if there's a moment to go hard, it's now, even though we are not on full HP. Okay, Combat Clinic quickly to heal someone up, whoever takes the most damage here. Which is lightning, that's fine. Lightning be healed, and then we go again with Relentless Assault, so we can deal the most damage. But we need a lot of damage here. I can't wait for him to cast Faith again, because then I know exactly what he's doing next. Like, knowing what the enemy is doing is so important. Bone Chilling Breaker, that murdered us last time. Combat Clinic time. Ouch! That murdered Vanille. Vanille, get up. Cure, 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 cure. I mean, we knew Vanille would go down if that happened.
Time for
Because we knew
another
Vanille
approach.
didn't have the defenses up. And we had like the least HP. But now we get the buffs up and we deal damage and it's all gonna be good. He attacks a lot during this phase. It's kind of rude and just considered very attractive. What the fuck? That's such a... That is indeed a weird fact about Brazil. You would be correct in calling it that. Foul Utterance is fine. Honestly, with this feeling like no damage, let's go into burst phase and just kill him. We got it from here. What about sides? Super fun though, I really liked it. This boss fight really made me use the battle system in smart ways. I enjoyed it a lot. What the f- That is so... That is wild. It's gonna start with character down. Tetradictiara? Wait, didn't we already have one of those? Wasn't that the in critical apply all the protection spells? Oh well. We can always take... We take those.
Look.
Nice.
Look, it's a lift, I think. Well, that was Dahaka. It's our friend.
He's saying thanks.
Oh, I think I want to get rid of that guy too.
At last, we are free
Aww, we
go
saved
now.
people.
to hunt down evil where it hides.
Aw, we saved a bunch of statues.
So I guess that means there are still more monsters like that one out there.
Oh, we saw them like everywhere
Sounds like
coming here.
Somewhere out there on Grand Pulse.
Gone just like that. That big hunk of rock, that thing sure can move.
Guess they're just doing what they can too. Trying to save the world.
Almost like
well,
we're
it's
doing
not
the
all on
same.
them. Last time I checked, we are still in this fight.
Indeed. I like that we're
right
working
down
with a bunch
there
of
then, isn't it?
rocks.
Yep.
So what's it like?
Well, it's kind of small, but it's warm and green and very naturey.
Around the Foul Sea, it was flowers as far as you could see, huh?
View from here? Ain't so rosy, I'm sorry to say.
Oh.
You want to wait here? No. I need to see for myself.
Oh no. Please don't tell me Vanille's home is like ruined. That looks more like my outside currently, full of snow.
It's all gone.
Every trace of color.
Oh.
We're chasing shadows. This whole idea of losing our brands is hopeless.
There's gotta be a way.
Let's keep on looking. That's what we came here for. We all agreed, and now we're here.
I mean, it was really the only way forward, so.
You think it's really possible?
Sure, anything is.
Aww, hope. Hope instilling hope into people.
There's no going back.
Someone says no, oh
You don't
no.
think I know that?
Oh god, there's a lot of snow outside. It's a new meeting. Enjoy the lunch, Andre.
Come on.
Take care and thank you for dropping by. I like how there's random encounters up here. I have to just face the boss here with some random encounters before you can do anything else.
Time to go?
Like, oh yes, random encounter time. Let's board the thing and board the elevator. Yes, that's what we came here for after all. We came all this way for an elevator.
Looks like an easier way to get where we're going.
Let's take it. Wouldn't want you to throw your back out climbing, old man.
You really are a charmer, aren't you?
Get wrecked. Poor Sass, man. Sass did nothing wrong. End of time anyway, here's a random counter. I mean, RPGs be like that. These orbs gotta be so weird to travel in, man. But also so cool. Time to enter Bellabog. That's the first thing that came to my mind. This is just Bellabog. The ash and sand. Oh, that's not Bellabog. Wait, no, that is Bellabog. Still relevant. Woo! Anyway, chat. Thank you all so much for joining. I really appreciate it. And yeah, if you aren't following it and would like to see more, please do leave a follow. There's also my Discord to join, full of lovely people. And considering, you know, an art bot managed to join my Discord midstream, you too can find your way there. Ah, God, let's go see who I'm gonna raid today. Who will we raid today? Let me open my browser. Because without my browser, I'm gonna have some Bowser. Wait, no, eh? Bowser. And you know what? I think I know where we're gonna go. Let's I'm gonna check 2 streams real quick. Depending on what's going on. And first of all, raid messages we can already get ready. And let's go say hi to... Yeah, let's go say hi to Azure. Azure is a very lovely Final Fantasy focused VTuber. Very cute, very lovely, very sweet person. Overall, I like them a lot. Nice to hang out in, very nice community as well. And they're currently doing non-spoiler stuff in Final Fantasy XIV from what it looks like, because it looks like they're leveling Pugilist. So that doesn't look very spoilery to me. Thank you all for dropping by and take care, everyone. See you next time. Bye bye. Boop.